What's up, guys? Dylan here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about ditching Ledger, the hardware wallet. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. So why should you ditch Ledger? They recently came out this past week that they are implementing some sort of tech in their wallets to allow you to send basically what they're saying encrypted shards of your private key to them. So in the case of you losing it, it can be backed up. And that definitely has caused quite the controversy in the crypto and Bitcoin communities. As people that are into crypto and Bitcoin are all about self-sovereignty, all about protecting their wealth and their assets. And one of the ways you do that is through cold storage and getting these things called private keys, where it's basically 12 to 24 words that you and you alone have access to that aren't connected to the internet, and that you can basically write down, and you are responsible for ensuring those words are safe and protected, because those words give you access to any funds that are attached to the address associated with those words. So this isn't a video about what private keys are or anything like that. Check out some of my other videos or other videos online, but this is about what Ledger did. A big problem that has been talked about, and it's a real problem, is it can be difficult, especially for people who aren't very tech savvy, to understand the concept of private keys and also be able to be responsible enough to hold those keys and store their wealth. And there are people that say that this is one of the big things that is preventing mass adoption. It's just that we already have the early adopters, the tech forward, the tech savvy people, which is probably you if you're listening to this video, or you're probably more tech savvy than someone who's not listening to this video, believe it or not. People still listen to AM radio. People still watch normal TV channels. People still watch normal news, but not you, because you're watching YouTube videos. So you probably moved beyond that for the most part, or at least are in the process. So anyways, you're more technologically advanced. And so if you have a private key, or if you set that up, you understand that process. And it's not the easiest thing. It's also daunting, because if you lose that key, you lose all your funds. And if you have a significant amount of wealth or significant amount of Bitcoin, it's gone forever. You can't get it back. And that's like a huge pro about Bitcoin. I'm gonna just focus on Bitcoin. It's crypto ties in here as well, but I'm just gonna say Bitcoin because, as you don't know, I do have a book called The Bitcoin Business Accelerator. I know, shameless plug, but it teaches you how to become a Bitcoin consultant for people that are having these same questions. So check that out in the link below, or let me know if you want some help doing some of the things I'm gonna talk about in this video, or learning more about this process. So anyways, it's a pro for Bitcoin because it's the only asset that you can truly own. You could remember those 12 words, and no one can take that from you, because we don't have mind reading devices yet, as I know. No matter what, no one can take that from you unless you give that to them. That can't be said for anything else you own, okay? That's extremely powerful with Bitcoin, and you can just condense your 12 words, put it in your head, remember it, and you can store it other places. There are other ways you can do this, and there's ways you can do it, make sure it's protected and secure, but they can get really complicated really quickly. And for you, maybe if you know about seed phrases and know about cold storage wallets, and you're listening to this video, but you haven't done that yet, you're probably more tech forward, like I said before. And if it's confusing to you, just imagine for the people that haven't done it, right? Don't know about it, and haven't crossed that bridge yet, haven't played around with cold storage wallets and things like that, hot wallets, or whatever it is. That's the majority of people in the world. The big problem, one thing, is they're trying to figure out a way to allow mass adoption to occur, eliminate that fear of losing your seed phrase while still protecting self-custody and self-sovereignty. And Ledger introduce this solution that it doesn't look good. The optics are bad, and I'm not super tech advanced when it comes to coding and what type of vulnerabilities in systems there are. But all I know is that now they've introduced a level of complexity that could potentially introduce more attack vectors to make it more likely or increase the risk that your seed phrase could be compromised. And that's a problem. And so a lot of people are worried about that, and rightly, because it's just, they should be worried about that, because now someone else has access to their seed phrase, or there's another way that people can get access to your seed phrase other than you giving it to them. And that's a problem. So Ledger came out with this, and I've had some stuff on Ledger. I've recommended them in the past because they're a well-known company. They're out there. They have good devices, but you always got to understand there's always some sort of risk, especially when you get a device or anything like that from a third party. There's always a level of risk, but in general, they're pretty safe. And I think they're still probably pretty safe at this point in time. But here's why I think you should move your funds off of it. And by the way, this is a disclaimer, obviously not financial advice. And if you're uncertain in any way, shape or form, contact your local Bitcoin consultant. Contact someone that you know and trust that knows how to do this to help you out. Contact me. It's much better to pay someone. Say you have a couple $1,000s, right? Or 10, 20, 30, 40, $100,000 or more. The last thing you want is try to do that by yourself and you not know how or be uncertain and you lose a ton of money in the process, or you lose all those funds, because that is a story that happens so often and it sucks. It's terrible. Or like you want help, so you go to some help forum and some scammer takes it all. You don't want that to happen. So if you're watching this video and if for any reason you're uncertain, get some help, right? Spend the money, get some help. It's well worth it. It will protect, think of it as insurance, as protecting your funds, right? Reducing the risk that you lose those funds if you're going through the process of moving your funds off of something like Ledger. And I recommend you do that. One, because this new backdoor thing. So if you don't understand it, you shouldn't be using a hardware wallet or a service that has features that you really don't understand that could compromise the integrity of your wealth. You don't want to be using that. So there's other options out there. And so you can use those other options until maybe you figure out Ledger, or maybe you become comfortable with that again. Two, we're talking about Ledger. Now everyone knows what a Ledger is. Everyone knows what a Trezor is. And a big problem with that is people now know what to look for. If they're trying to hack you online, they can look at your search history if they get that far, and they can see if you're going to Ledger's website and that kind of stuff. So they can be like, oh, this person probably has a Ledger. Or if they're trying to do a physical attack where they kidnap you or they break into your house, they know what a Ledger looks like. And if someone knows what it looks like, it makes it just easier for them to identify it and then target that thing. Those two reasons, the new tech that you don't understand, I don't fully understand, that could compromise the integrity of your seed phrase, and the fact that everyone is talking about Ledger and knows what it is, it might be wise to change up a solution. And there's ones out there. I'm not going to go mentioning them right here in this video because I don't want to compromise that. Never tell the truth about that publicly. Always lie. And lying isn't good, but publicly when you're talking about assets that you hold and it's for self-sovereign purposes, I lost it in a boating accident. I sold it all, right? Or I lost my key, for whatever it is. Just don't ever tell someone exactly how much you have. It's always a wise decision because then they can't fully know and they have to guess. And if they don't know how much you have, it makes you less of a target because there's uncertainty there. And they're like, man, they could have 100 Bitcoin, but they never said that. And they've said they've lost it. And I don't know, maybe I'll just go target the person that brags about having that much Bitcoin, okay? So never talk about how much you have, never. And never talk about how you're securing publicly, right? The specific things that you're doing to secure your Bitcoin, okay? You can talk in generalities, but never reveal all the details. Like, never be like, yeah, I have a Ledger and I keep my phrase carved in a piece of wood at my grandma's house and I store the Ledger at my best friend's house. Never say that if that's how you do it. Never explicitly say exactly how you're storing your Bitcoin. It's just wise not to reveal that information because that keeps you more secure. So just to conclude this video, I think Ledger is onto something with trying to find a way to secure self-custody and be self-sovereign and secure their wealth, but then also providing a potential life-saving or wealth-saving solution there. I do think there's risks that are potentially not spoken about or not quite revealed in that process. Hopefully that can be figured out, and hopefully this can be just as safe or even safer and better. But in the short term, I would advise, if you don't understand it, I would advise moving funds off of Ledger if you have one and into another cold storage setup. And I also advise to move funds off of Ledger just for the fact that it is so popular, it is so recognizable that you don't really want to be using the most recognizable solution. You don't want to be using an inferior solution, but you don't want to be using the most recognizable solution because that puts an extra target on your back when it comes to people trying to take your Bitcoin and crypto and whatever. And so if you are in this situation, you're listening to this video, you're worried, you're afraid, don't make emotional decisions, right? Don't go to help forums online. What I recommend, not financial advice, is don't be in an emotional state. Make sure you have a clear mind. You are relaxed. You're calm. You're in a space that's safe and secure when you're going to move funds. And you know the process. You've done a little research. You got it all set up. You put time aside. You don't have distractions when you're going to move your funds. That's the best way to go about doing it. If you don't think you can accomplish this on your own, or if you have questions at all about this process, it's much better to talk to someone one-on-one. And when I work with clients, I only work with them via video calls. Like, I talk to you via Zoom first, so you can actually see me. It's me. You can schedule a call directly with me. It's not someone pretending to be me or anything like that. It's me, and I make sure I ensure that by doing video calls directly with my clients. And that's the only way I will decide to do business with someone or not after I've actually seen you and you've seen me, to make sure that it's legit, you're comfortable, and I feel comfortable working with you directly. But hire someone like myself or other crypto or Bitcoin consultants out there, or maybe your super nerdy kid or friend or whatever that you trust. Hire someone. Don't be afraid to pay a couple $100s to protect your wealth, because what's worse? Paying a couple $100s and moving your funds safely and securely, or not paying the money and losing all your funds, or losing a significant portion of them, or just having that uncertainty. Did I do it right? Definitely make sure to consider those options. Be safe out there. Remember, not your keys, not your crypto. Don't share that with anyone out there, and be careful out there, guys. Anyways, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you want my help. There'll be a link there. You can reach out. Also, if you're curious about consulting, because this is a time that Bitcoin consultants are needed, definitely pick up a copy of my Bitcoin Business Accelerator book, and you can get it on Amazon or in the link below. And I will catch you in the next video. Peace.